Does your mind ever feel stuck on repeat, replaying worst-case scenarios over and over? Overthinking is exhausting. It's like carrying an umbrella every day, afraid of storms, but never enjoying the sunshine. What if you could break free from that spiral and train your brain to work for you, not against you? In this video, you'll discover simple, powerful ways to reshape your thoughts, calm your mind, and step into the life you deserve. Ready to leave the stress behind? Hit subscribe, like this video, and turn on notifications, because your journey to mental freedom starts now. Understanding catastrophizing. Catastrophizing is more than a bad habit. It's a deeply ingrained pattern that can distort our perception of reality. While it often feels automatic, it's actually a learned response to uncertainty. This mental pattern thrives on ambiguity and fills in the gaps with worst-case scenarios, leaving little room for rational thought or optimism. Interestingly, catastrophizing is linked to our evolutionary need to anticipate danger. However, in the modern world, where actual physical threats are rare, this mechanism has shifted its focus to social and psychological concerns. Understanding this evolutionary context helps us see catastrophizing as a misplaced survival tool rather than a personal flaw. The impacts extend beyond emotional distress. Chronic catastrophizing has been linked to conditions like generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, and even depression. Studies show that people who frequently engage in this thought pattern have heightened activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center, making it harder to regulate emotions. Common triggers and examples. Catastrophizing doesn't happen in a vacuum. It often stems from specific triggers. For instance, perfectionists are particularly vulnerable, as they set high standards for themselves and fear falling short. Similarly, people with low self-esteem might catastrophize because they struggle to trust their own judgment or abilities. Social media has also become a breeding ground for catastrophic thinking. Comparing oneself to curated versions of others' lives can lead to exaggerated fears of inadequacy or failure. For example, seeing someone post about their promotion might trigger thoughts like, "I'll never achieve anything that's significant." In health-related catastrophizing, cyberchondria is a growing phenomenon. With an abundance of medical information online, minor symptoms are often blown out of proportion. While seeking information is natural, the inability to filter reliable sources exacerbates fear and creates a vicious cycle of worry. The cycle of anxiety and catastrophizing. The relationship between anxiety and catastrophizing is deeply cyclical. Each feeds into the other, creating a self-perpetuating loop that feels almost impossible to escape. The more you catastrophize, the more anxious you feel. And the more anxious you feel, the easier it becomes to catastrophize. This cycle isn't just mental, it's physical too. Prolonged anxiety leads to changes in brain chemistry. Cortisol, the stress hormone, becomes overactive, impairing cognitive functions like decision-making and memory. This is why, in the heat of a catastrophic thought, logic seems inaccessible. Breaking this cycle requires a multi-pronged approach. Cognitive behavioral techniques are effective, but so are physical strategies like deep breathing and progressive muscle relaxation. These not only calm the body, but also signal to the brain that it's safe, disrupting the loop at its core. The physical impact of negative imagination. Negative imagination, or the mental rehearsal of worst-case scenarios, has measurable effects on physical health. Chronic stress, fueled by these thoughts, weakens the immune system, making you more susceptible to infections and illnesses. Research suggests that people with high stress levels take longer to recover from colds and other common ailments. Additionally, the connection between catastrophizing and cardiovascular health is significant. Constant worry increases blood pressure, putting extra strain on the heart over time. This chronic stress response is one of the reasons why mental health interventions are increasingly seen as part of holistic care for physical conditions like hypertension and heart disease. The gut-brain axis is another area of concern. People who catastrophize frequently report gastrointestinal issues, from acid reflux to irritable bowel syndrome. These conditions are exacerbated by stress, highlighting how closely our thoughts and physical well-being are intertwined. The duality of imagination. Imagination is a tool that can either imprison or empower us, depending on how it's used. While negative imagination traps us in cycles of fear, positive imagination opens doors to new possibilities. The same mental energy that envisions disaster can be redirected to visualize growth, success, and resilience. Studies in neuroscience show that imagining positive outcomes activates the prefrontal cortex, the brain area associated with planning and decision-making. This not only boosts confidence, but also primes you for success by aligning your thoughts with your actions. The key is intentionality. Positive visualization isn't about pretending challenges don't exist. It's about preparing for them with a growth mindset. For instance, instead of fearing a difficult conversation, imagine it unfolding with mutual understanding and respect. This mental rehearsal builds emotional readiness, reducing anxiety in real-life scenarios. The impact on relationships and performance. Relationships are often casualties of catastrophic thinking. When fear takes over, it's easy to misinterpret neutral actions as negative. For example, a partner's busy schedule might be seen as neglect, leading to unnecessary arguments or emotional distance. In professional settings, catastrophizing creates self-fulfilling prophecies. Employees who fear failure might overcompensate, leading to burnout or hesitate to take risks, limiting their growth. Over time, this not only affects individual performance, but also team dynamics, as negativity can spread like wildfire in collaborative environments. One way to counteract this is through open communication. In relationships, expressing your fears rather than assuming the worst can prevent misunderstandings. At work, seeking feedback regularly helps align expectations and dispels unfounded fears before they take root. Positive visualization and neuroplasticity. The concept of neuroplasticity is revolutionary in understanding how we can change our thought patterns. By consistently practicing positive visualization, we strengthen neural pathways that support optimism and resilience. This doesn't just make us feel better, it fundamentally changes how our brains function. One powerful exercise is to create a mental movie of your ideal outcome. Engage all your senses. What do you see, hear, and feel in this imagined scenario? The more vivid the image, the stronger its impact on your brain's neural wiring. Moreover, pairing visualization with gratitude amplifies its effects. Studies show that people who practice both regularly report lower levels of stress and higher overall well-being. This combination rewires the brain to focus on abundance rather than scarcity, a crucial shift for breaking free from catastrophizing. Success stories and real-life applications. Beyond athletes and celebrities, countless everyday people have used visualization to overcome challenges. Take the story of a teacher who struggled with imposter syndrome. By visualizing herself confidently leading her class, she gradually built the self-assurance needed to thrive in her role. In health, patients recovering from surgeries have used visualization to imagine their bodies healing. Research in psychoneuroimmunology highlights how these practices can boost immune function and speed up recovery. It's a testament to the power of the mind in influencing physical outcomes. Even in seemingly mundane contexts, visualization makes a difference. A shy individual imagining themselves networking confidently might take the first step toward building valuable professional connections. These small victories, when compounded, lead to significant transformations. Practical techniques to interrupt catastrophizing. Adding to the techniques already discussed, here are more tools to try. Socratic questioning. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could realistically happen? Then, how likely is it really? Create a worry box. Write down your worries and schedule time to think about them later. This reduces the constant mental load. Physical activity. Exercise not only relieves stress, but also clears your mind, providing perspective on the thoughts that seemed overwhelming. Anchor phrases. Repeat mantras like, I am capable or this is temporary to ground yourself during stressful moments. Therapeutic support and complementary tools. Therapeutic support is invaluable for tackling deeply rooted catastrophizing patterns. Beyond CBT, therapies like eye movement desensitization and reprocessing EMDR have shown promise in reprocessing negative thought patterns linked to past traumas. Apps like Woebot or MoodKit provide bite-sized therapeutic techniques, while creative outlets like writing poetry or composing music offer cathartic ways to process emotions. Experimenting with different tools helps discover what works best for your unique needs. Now that you've got the tools to stop overthinking, what's next? Remember, real change starts with small, intentional steps. So here's a challenge. The next time a catastrophic thought creeps in, pause and ask yourself, what's the evidence for this? What's another way to see it? You'll be amazed at how powerful this simple shift can be. What step will you take today to break free from the cycle? Will you try journaling, practice a grounding technique, or maybe start visualizing a better outcome? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and help you on this journey. And if this video sparked even a little hope or clarity, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it too. Together, we can rewire our minds and live more empowered lives.